Hello children, once again I welcome you all in this today video session, and in today's video class we are going to discuss about the second lesson from the supplementary reading, the earthquake. Maximum of you students already know that what is the meaning of earthquake. So similarly as earthquake, here is a story happened in one place. So there the writer describing over here. So for this supplementary reading there is no brief introduction about the writer, so we will directly move towards the chapter. So once upon a time a writer was traveling to Badrinath. So there he heard a story from a guy who met him on the way to the Badrinath. So that boy told him that entire incident of that earthquake, that what is happened to him, what happened to his family, and how devastating that earthquake was happened at that time. So I'll begin the explanation, children. First paragraph: are you a stranger to these parts, waiting for the bus to Badrinath? Perhaps you are a pilgrim or a visitor to the valley of a flower. So when the writer was standing on the road, a boy came and asked him, are you a stranger to these parts, waiting for the bus to Badrinath? Perhaps you are a pilgrim or a visitor to the valley. So maybe you are a stranger here and you are waiting for the bus, that's why you are standing here, and maybe you are going to visit to the valley of a flower. Anyway, whoever you are, come with me, wait at my tea shop. It is just past the bend in the road. So the boy asked to the writer that whoever you are, you just come with me and wait in my tea shop. It is just near over here. As you can see, I am carrying this can of milk to the shop. So he said that, as you can see that I am having a milk can which is I am carrying to my tea shop. In 10 minutes I will have fire going while you warm yourself. So since you can observe over here, this is the Himalayan mountains, here we will felt too much cold. So in 10 minutes I am going to make the fire on in front of my tea shop, so there you can make yourself warm. I will prepare for you the best cup of tea in all Gaharwal. So Gaharwal is a place where he is having his own tea shop. So he said that till you can make yourself warm in front of that fire, I will prepare a cup of best tea in all Gaharwal. It will chase away the pinched blue look from your face. So if you had the cup of tea, you will feel a little bit better, and whatever the stress, whatever the tiredness you are getting, it will be completely go on. So you just come with me to my tea shop. Here we are. Welcome to my humble roadside tea shop. So finally they both reached to that boy's tea shop, and that boy welcomed to the writer by saying that, welcome to my humble roadside tea shop. So writer went into the tea shop which was there near to the roadside. Make yourself comfortable on this wooden bench. So as you know that in tea shops or in hotels they used to keep the benches to sit the customers. So there also that boy was having a wooden bench, and he told the writer to sit on that and feel a little bit comfortable. It looks rickety but it will hold your weight. So that boy said that it is not in a proper condition, it is not looking healthy, it will little bit loose, it will move further here and there, but don't worry about it, it will take your weight, it will hold your weight. So writer asked him, that was your name. So after that, that boy said, my name Sahib, I am called Bridge. So Sahib, my name is Bridge. I am 17-year-old. I started this tea shop 2 years ago. So that boy said that, my name is Bridge sir, and I am 17 years old and I started this tea shop 2 years ago. Before that, I worked in a roadside dhaba outside Panipat. So that boy telling that, before I starting my tea shop, I was working into the roadside dhaba in Panipat. The heat, the crowd, the pollution, it was all too much. I have saved most of my earnings. So when I was working in that roadside dhaba in Panipat, there was too much of heat, there was too much of a crowd, there was too much of a pollution. Everything was there. It was all too much. I had saved most of my earnings. So everything was there. So how much I worked there, so how much salaries I got from there, I have saved my earning. I came back with a little help. I started this tea shop. So whatever the earnings I got from there, I have saved that money and I came back with a little help. Help means that his earnings, and I started this tea shop. By the grace of Badri Vishal, it provides me a decent enough livelihood. The grace of Badri Vishal, it's nothing but it's God, similar like a God, Badri. He said that by the grace of Badri Vishal, it provides me a decent enough livelihood. So whatever I am earning from this tea shop, it is enough for me to survive here nowadays. Here your tea is ready, strong, sweet, flavored with cardamom. While talking only with the writer, he prepared the tea. So when that tea became ready, he told to the writer that, here your tea is ready, strong, sweet, flavored with the cardamom. Here is the strong, sweet and the flavored with the cardamom. Enjoy it, Sahib. The boy said, enjoy it, Sahib. While I get on with my course, this is my daily routine. Course means that daily routine. So every day I am coming here, every day I am preparing a tea, I am selling the tea. When the sun sets, I used to go to my home. This is my daily routine. At sunset, I will shut my shop and walk back to the 3 miles to my dwelling on the hillside. He said that. When the sunset happens, I shut my shop and I return to my home. The name of my village. When the writer asked the boy, what is the name of your village? So the boy said, the name of my village, it was my village, the village of my ancestor. Ancestor means forefathers. His father, his father's father, and his father's father. His grandfather, we can say. The ancestor means forefathers. It was my village, the village of my ancestors. It is no more. Mothi is gone. So village which I belongs to, that village is no more now. That village is no more now. It's gone. When the writer asked that what happened to your village, so that boy said, what happened to my village? So now the boy is telling that what happened to his village. It was 4 years ago, in the month of October, one night the earth quaked. The boy is telling that 4 years ago, in the month of October, one night the earthquake was happening. Yes. Tremors are common in this part. Yeah, earthquake was happened. Tremors means a small kind of earthquake. So the boy said that, yeah, tremors are common in this part and we became familiar with the small tremors. But what happened at that night, that was too dangerous. But what was happened at that night, that was too dangerous. These snows may seem internal, the Himalayas may look solid, but the truth is, deep down they are unstable. He said that what the mountains you are looking now, sir, these huge mountains of a snowy mountains, you think that these mountains are too strong, but no, from inside these are unstable. From outer side these mountains are look solid, but from the inside these are not solid and these are not unstable. We who live here are accustomed to the tremors, so we know the reality. We live here through the daily, so we know that how these mountains are and how the tremors have been happening and what happened to these mountains when the tremors will happen. But what happened that night was more than that. But in the month of October, what happened at that night, that was more than a tremor. It was a terrible earthquake. It was not just an earthquake. It was a terrible earthquake. It was a terrible earthquake. Its effects were felt as far away as Delhi and Lucknow. Its effects were felt as far away as Delhi and Lucknow. When that earthquake was happening in Himalaya Gharwal, his effects were felt in Delhi and Lucknow, that much far away from there. Can you imagine the devastation at that? He said that, can you imagine the devastation at the heart of the earthquake? Can you imagine how dangerous earthquake was happened at that night? When that earthquake was happened here, and its effects were felt into the Delhi and Lucknow, how devastating earthquake was it happens, how dangerous earthquake was it happens. The epicenter was in the valley, not far from here. The epicenter of this valley was not far from here. There were 670 villages in this valley. So it is a valley. Here totally 1600 and what we can say as 670 villages are there. How many villages are there? Totally 670 villages are there in this valley. 602 were destroyed. See, amongst of 670 villages, 602 villages were destroyed by that earthquake. The earthquake lasted less than 5 minutes. For what time that earthquake was happened over there? That earthquake was happened less than 5 minutes. The time enough to set this centuries old mountains crashing. And that 5 minutes of a time was enough to cracking or crushing the centuries ago mountains. Those snowy mountains which were stood there proudly that we are belong to the ancestors and we are the Himalayan mountains, we are strong enough to survive in any situation. He burned the ego of those mountains in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes it crushed each and every mountain. To reduce our villages to rubble, to snuff out the hundreds of lives. And when that earthquake was happened, those all mountains were started sliding, the landslides were also been started happening, and those all mountains were came and covered the villages, and hundreds of lives were went, and hundreds of lives were went in that devastation.